Wow. JAKIB Sports, Cowboys sweeping the Eagles. Man, without further ado, the man who's in a great place right now in his life. I don't know if it's the maple syrup, or I don't know if it's just that he's put the liquor down, or if it's just the postseason or the off season here. He's in a really good place right now. He is my friend, Mark Holmes. He joins us now. And the legendary Philly.500. He is with us right now, and he joins us now.
No. Dak, you cannot borrow Jalen Hurts' Super Bowl ring to impress the bridesmaids this year. You cannot do it. The bridesmaid does not care about the Super Bowl ring. You cannot borrow his Super Bowl ring. Get your own, you choker. Oh, sorry about that. Talking to Dak's agent on the phone now.
Oh
my goodness.
Bad for Dak.
Hey, look at this too. Xander's on edibles right now. So what did you, by the way, what's your shirt say, Mark?
The stars are aligning. JAKIB Sports is picking the Cowboys to sweep.
Stars are aligning.
I'm going to hold on to this cigar right here. I'm going to pull a Philly.500. Yeah, I'm stealing from you, Philly. When the Cowboys sweep per JAKIB Sports, I will smoke this cigar out there in my new pavilion that I'm building.
You might as well just mail that cigar to me because you're not going to be smoking it.
And we'll roast that sucker, and we'll be smoking that when we end up sweeping it. Did I really hear Xander say the Cowboys would sweep the Eagles?
Yeah, I got it as a split.
Holy.
I think you're corrupting Xander's mind, Sills. I blame you.
Me?
I think you're corrupting him
here, man. I'm not.
He needs a good kick in the ass, as my dad would say.
Oh my God! Here, I mean, Philly
ain't no chance.
Philly, hey, Mark.
Yeah.
12 days.
Yes.
Until the end of the A.J. Brown era. Philly.
You're still talking about that?
Yeah, because you got a lot of draft picks involved here with the potential.
Yeah, no, it's important. There's no question about it. I can't wait till the whole thing is over too. But if I'm Howie Roseman, I might just play this thing out a little longer.
Because past the second?
Why not? I mean, he's already in your contract, your cap. Everything's all settled money wise. Why not wait it out? Take it to training camp. Let's go. Let's wait till somebody gets injured in camp or another team comes in the mix, because right now their teams are starting to bite because they realize they need a receiver. So I think Howie should play this out smart. He doesn't have to rush it. There's no reason to rush.
I got two questions for both of you here.
Mm-hmm.
In one word, I used the word dominance. In the A.J. Brown era from 22 to 25, what word would you use?
22, 20. Fantastic.
That you would put that on? Say that again, Mark.
Your lead dog. He was the guy when you needed it, he would get it. He was that physical receiver. He was like Des Bryant wasn't a great route runner, but he was that physical guy that could go up and get the football. And that's what A.J. Brown does. There's a lot of games last year when, we're always talking about Dak Prescott's placement. A.J. Brown is snagging passes that aren't exactly right where you want from behind and stuff. And he's that possession guy that I think you're going to take a step back without him.
Yeah, of course you do, but that's not the case.
Wait a minute, you're admitting?
No. I'm admitting that you think we're going to take a step back.
Oh,
of course you do.
Okay.
But if A.J. Brown stays, then Mark's going to be like, well, it's a bad move for the Eagles because he's not going to be happy there, and no matter what,
Philly,
it's a no-win situation, right? It's a no-win.
You don't think you're taking a step back without A.J. in the offense?
No, I've said before, the offense, of course you're losing A.J. Brown. You can't tell me you're not losing something. However, I think that they've got hopefully enough guys in that they can somewhat replace what you're going to lose. But yeah, of course you lose something for him, but it's not the end of the world.
I got to ask you one question. The 10-year war with Dak Prescott, give me a word. for Prescott's 10 years in Dallas?
Wasted time.
Expand.
We went through this with Tony Romo, although I can look and say before 2010, the Cowboys really tried to go out and get players. They went out and they got T.O. They tried with Roy Williams. That didn't work. They tried with Brandon Carr. After that time, they got completely shy of making moves. When you look at the 10 years of Dak Prescott being here in comparison to what Howie Roseman has done to make sure Jalen Hurts was successful, the only move you looked at is Amari Cooper, and then just this last year with George Pickens. And you start thinking about how much talent, homegrown talent that you let go, but never replaced. Getting good quarterbacks. Now, even you rated them still top 7 quarterbacks.
Yes.
You think about the Commanders, how long they've been trying to get a decent quarterback. And they're not sure if they got one with Jalen Daniels. You don't get opportunities like the Cowboys did and then waste them. You can shake your head all you want, but you can look at San Francisco and say they're constantly trying to put talent around. The Eagles are constantly trying to put more talent around.
What people don't look into is that when you look at Dak Prescott's skill set and you look at Hurts' skill set, it's not in the same conversation. Mm-hmm. Now, again, we're talking about individual player ability.
Well, then let's use the proper word for Dak. Loser.
No,
loser. Because he was unsuccessful.
No.
Jaden Daniels has played in more meaningful games than Dak Prescott. And he's been in the league 2 years.
Or Dak would be underachieving.
Sorry.
I would use underachieving. I'm going to tell, but I would also say this about Dak, undercoach, and I want you to follow with me here. They never coached him right, and I'll tell you why. When you had Aikman, I think Dak Prescott has more physical skills than Troy Aikman. But you know what they did in Dallas? They ran the fucking ball. They played lights out defense. They didn't ask him to throw the ball 38 times a game because they knew that was a losing remedy. In Philly, they knew the winning formula was let's run the ball 32 times, throw the ball 20. Let's go win. If they had done that with Dak and pulled him back in with better coaching,
yeah.
Dude, they did do it early.
Elway, no, because, again, they missed. There's where you're right, Mark, on missed opportunity. Because you know why? His first 4 years in the league, Zeke was the somewhat Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
And that's where Philly comes in and always says, that's missed opportunity there.
Yeah, that was Chokerville.
Well, Philly, here's the one thing I will say about when you talk about Dak, okay? All the things you say about him in the postseason, they are true. But like I said, when he lines up in the regular season, he owns the East. He owns it.
I don't see how you can own the East and you couldn't even repeat as division champions. Philly.
How do you? If you're going to give
in context, it's not really that.
Hold on. It is context.
Nah, because you could go, if we go through year after year, we could talk about which times he beat the Eagles when the Eagles were sitting their starters, or the Cowboys were sitting their starters. Things like that. You have to take.
Really saying you think Jalen?
I don't think a guy that hasn't repeated as a division champion, that hasn't won shit.
Oh my God! I don't think one
you can say he owns anybody. How can you own anybody if you've won nothing? You've won nothing. That's ridiculous.
That Sam Darnold's a better player than Justin Herbert. Is that right in your eyes?
Yeah. What has Herbert done? You're talking about arm talent and how athletic a guy is and stuff. But when it comes to nuts and bolts, wins and losses and losses, which should matter, Darnold's more successful. Is Darnold not more successful than
Howie Roseman was going to draft a quarterback for his team today? Would it be Hurts or Justin Herbert? Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, it'd be Herbert. It'd be Herbert.
It'd be Jalen Hurts. Here's the thing.
Why did they take him in the first round?
Who? Why the Eagles didn't take him in the first round?
And why did you sign a contract with Wentz the year previous for $30
Well, I don't think coming out of the draft, I don't think everybody knew. It's not what you are and I say this about Dak too. It's not what you are when you get drafted. It's what you become.
Jalen Hurts
and what Jalen Hurts is
than Lamar Jackson.
I think Jalen Hurts is a better winner than
think
all those guys.
that winning?
You talk about talent. I talk about winning.
Is a team talent. Winning is a
winning's a team talent. But you tell me how many quarterbacks in this league have won Super Bowls? No, I mean seriously. You have Stafford, you have Mahomes, you have Jalen Hurts,
and Darnold.
Right? Who else have won the Super Bowl?
Darnold.
Who else? What other quarterbacks? Darnold,
Russell Wilson,
and who else?
And Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson's basically retired. I don't even count Rodgers as 40. Okay. But who else? Jalen Hurts has been in 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. How many quarterbacks have done that?
I'm going to go down this list here and ask.
I just don't understand how we can look at winning as not mattering. And Mark, of course, Mark's like, "Oh Lordy, Lord," because your team don't win.
I'll ask you.
Of course, you're going to say that.
Again, you just said it. Your team, my team.
Your team don't win.
You Jalen Hurts is a better player
because of your quarterback.
Do you think Josh? Do you think Jalen Hurts is a better player than Josh Allen?
Who, me or him?
Yeah,
you.
Do I think he's a better player?
Yeah.
Individually, no. I would rank as a quarterback. I would say Allen has more talent, but as a winner, I would if you have 2 minutes left in the game, you're down 4-20. I'd take Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen.
I saw it against the 49ers this last year. 4 verts. Would you take Joe Burrow?
Verts, yeah, that was great coaching, wasn't it?
Would you take Joe Burrow? Do you think Jalen Hurts is a better player than Joe Burrow?
If you factor out the injuries, I would say about even. And I give Burrow a nod because Burrow did take his team to a Super Bowl. So at least he accomplished something.
Think Burrow and Hurts are on the same
level? Think. Yeah, but we're talking about 2 different things. You're talking about talent. I'm talking about winner, guys that win. You can't tell me that it's always just because of everybody else and Jalen Hurts gets no credit. It's ridiculous.
Do you think the Cincinnati organization is the same organization as the Philadelphia Eagles?
No.
Okay. So do you think that there's organizations in this league that don't get it and don't win? But yet you're a great player like Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's a first ballot Hall of Famer, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has no way of winning a Super Bowl. He can't control it. His defense was 4th in the league with 5 wins.
I get it. I agree.
5 sacks in 1 game and a loss.
And let me ask you this here. What is he can't control the winning because the organization is not a winning organization. I mean,
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So Jalen is in a great organization. Do you not agree?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
All right.
But we're comparing who are we comparing Jalen to? Are we comparing to other great organizations, right? Cowboys are supposed to be a great organization.
I'm talking about having somebody. I'm talking about having somebody in the building that makes right executive decisions and builds a defense and builds an offense. You know what the problem in Dallas is? Jerry Jones. Plain and simple.
Right. It's all Jerry Jones' fault. That's right.
Well,
Jerry Jones' fault for 10 years. 10 years.
What has been the difference?
Held Dak Prescott to the same standard as Jalen Hurts, it would be insane.
Okay. What is the difference between the Cowboys' last 30 years, between the first 6 years? What's the difference?
Between the first 6 years and the first 30 years?
And the last 30 years in Dallas.
They haven't had winners.
It's Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson.
Okay, yeah, okay, great.
Look, Jerry,
but you're going to say
worried about making sure the Bills and the lights stayed on because they were losing $2 million.
Right. But Jerry also did provide you
on the field.
But in Dak Prescott's 10-year career, you can't tell me Jerry Jones has not put good teams on the field that should have won Super Bowls. You've had number 1 offenses. You've had number 1 seed. You've had a number 2 seed, and the guy blew it. He was the first quarterback to lose as a second seed.
Do you think he's put good coaching around Dak the last 10 years?
I think maybe 5-6 years, yes.
Who?
I think there was at least 3 or 4 good years in which they should have won Super Bowls.
Jason Garrett was a good coach.
I think that the team that Jason,
Oh,
I don't.
Bro.
Well, you're going to say Nick Sirianni is a great coach? I don't consider him a great coach.
Okay.
I've told you what I
Name
thought.
me another guy in Dallas under the Dak Prescott era that you thought was great.
Great what? In terms of players or coaches?
Coaching.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the one they just fired that was from Green Bay won a Super Bowl, right? He was a Super Bowl winning coach. What'd you do with him?
Jalen. He did it with Barkley.
Right. But you know what? I tell you what, Nick Sirianni's not the greatest coach in the world, but they still win. They still win in spite of.
Okay.
Do they not?
Got a great GM, though.
Owner and the GM, right?
You got a great
Dak
GM.
has never had. Dak's had number 1 seeds, number 2 seeds, and he's done nothing with it. Jalen Hurts has done stuff with it.
What he has done with lesser talent.
Why not just hold your quarterback accountable and say, you know what, dude, you've been in the league for 10 years, and it's time that
give him the offensive line,
and you
give him
put
a
your
2,000-yard running back
on your back and
a defense.
Stop making excuses.
You won the Super Bowl.
You can't do that. All you do is make excuses for the guy. That's why people think that it's bullshit.
Okay.
You actually hurt Dak's case because of all your excuses and bullshit instead of just letting the man up. That people actually think less of him than maybe you should.
Okay, well, here, let me throw this at you then. Let's hold these guys accountable. Dak, Allen, Love, Lawrence, Goff, Purdy, Herbert, Jackson, Deshaun Watson, and Daniels. You know who those guys are? They're the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks in the league. How come they're not held accountable? You know why?
Well, why aren't they?
Paid on ability.
I think most of them are held more accountable than Dak. I've never seen a guy.
Justin Herbert is.
Well, Justin Herbert, no, I don't think. But I think Josh Allen. Look, I think Josh Allen has taken a lot of heat for his playoff loss last year. I think he's taken heat before. I think. Let's see. I think Lamar Jackson has taken a ton of heat for not winning in the playoffs.
He got 2 MVPs.
I don't think Dak. I haven't heard one time Mark say, "Man, Dak really stunk that playoff game." I have said Jalen Hurts has stunk in games before. I've never heard Mark say Dak Prescott stunk it up today. Never, ever.
But he ain't stinking it up by himself, bro.
All right. See, there you go again. You let him off the hook. I did, but not by himself. Yeah, I could say Jalen Hurts stunk today, and it was him by himself. You can't do it. If I literally
have 13 penalties on the game, and my lead running back has 26 yards,
arrest my case.
The only thing I'm supposed to talk about is saying, well, Dak had a bad game, even though the wide receiver dropped the first 2 passes of the game.
When you throw pick sixes, of course you're going to go down a lot of points.
You can't do anything else but rely on the quarterback's arm. We wouldn't know about that because Jalen Hurts never has to throw the football.
Sure. Except for when he's in the Super Bowl at the biggest moment playing the Hall of Fame quarterback, right? The 2 times he got to go out there and do it, he doesn't. Sorry. On the biggest stage, that argument don't fly.
Let me read you something from me and Rappaport today. Rap sheet, okay? This is on the Eagles and on Hurts. Is Hurts going to be here for the next 10 years? It's debatable. His play next year, coming up at 26, is going to determine it. If it's a bad year, I would say clearly by the end of the year, talking to Eagle sources and people in the building, that's going to be up in the air. Having that extra first-round pick in 27 could help reset the Eagles. Now, I mean, here's a guy here. If Hurts is all of this that you say, how can a guy be going into a prove-it year?
Who's saying that's a report he's saying it's prove-it year, right? Because he doesn't have a new contract. Look, all I can say is this: if that report is true, then what it shows you is that the Eagles hold their players accountable and that they expect to win, and we have a high standard. Why, why hasn't a team like the Cowboys done it when you got a quarterback going to his 11th year? You got a guy who's won a Super Bowl done. So I would say the Eagles hold their players accountable if that's true. But I also think that this idea that Jalen Hurts needs a new contract because or he's not getting a new contract and somehow that's because of Hurts' bad play is crazy. The plan all along was for Jalen Hurts to get a contract extension sometime after the 2027 season because he's only $31 million against the cap this year. He was, $21 million last year. He's been so cheap. you haven't had to do it yet. So I think they're just going. I just think they're following the plan, to be honest with you.
Okay. So next year, in your opinion, Philly, you're going to, if everything plays out, you're giving Hurts north of 60, you're giving Q 30, you're giving Cooper 30, and you're paying Carter 35. Is that right?
I assume if it comes to it at that point, don't do stuff like that. Yeah. Well, I
That's
mean,
$180 million with 4 players. Is that it?
Well, I mean,
Right.
you know, what are you going to do? You don't draft players so you can give them away. The Eagles aren't in that business. They don't draft these guys to give them away.
Hey, Mark.
Can I bring up that ticking time bomb of 29?
Go ahead.
29, yeah. Okay, so you can worry about 2029, and we're going to win Super Bowls. We'll win 4 Super Bowls in that time.
Okay.
Go ahead. Talk about 2029. Let me shine my rings here.
Where you already have $370 million in 29.
Oh,
Are
2029.
you talking about the voidable years?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a lot sitting there down the. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, I know. And you know what?